I recorded a new video for our new January challenge, and unfortunately the microphone that I just got for Christmas wasn't charged, and so I'm going to have to record over and tell you what I was doing in the class. So if my voice doesn't sink into my lips, then that is why. It's not dubbed. Anyway, so just to introduce the challenge, we are calling it New Year, Same You, because basically we want to be consistent throughout the year, and January is a good time to do that. So we're recording short 8 to 10 minute videos for Pilates that you can do throughout the week. You can add more to it, we can add weights to it, we can do the exercises more times, repetition, and try and just get ourselves moving and not feeling sluggish. That's the whole point. So I always start my Pilates sessions with alignment and posture, and here I'm doing just that, thinking about the weight through the feet, thinking about how we can balance through the feet using the weight underneath the big toe, underneath the little toe, and underneath the heel. Make sure that the weight isn't too far forward. So I quite often balance side to side, shifting the weight just to find that point, that perfect point in the middle that you feel balanced, and do the same forwards and backwards, because quite often we can lean forwards and quite often we can lean back. So we're trying to find a middle point between each that we really feel balanced. And then we're going to keep the knees nice and soft. Think of your alignment, you're softening. Keep the knees nice and soft, and then we'll think about our alignment of our pelvis. So quite often as women we tilt our pelvis forwards, but we want to make sure that our pelvis is tucked under. So think of your tailbone down towards the ground, and as you do that naturally, what happens is you control into the core more. Think of zipping up of your toe muscles from the bottom of your tummy all the way to the top, and that control is so important. Next, we did some breathing. So we take a deep inhale through our nose and then exhale out of the mouth. Rolled my shoulders back, relax my shoulders. I've skipped ahead a bit. Roll the shoulders back, relax the arms. And then think of that neck nice and long. I often talk about a grapefruit tucked underneath the spine, and then pull that spine a little bit taller. So grow that little bit taller. And that's where we're going to start the class, and that's where we finish. And next we'll think about our breathing. So next part is your breathing. The breathing will control everything in your Pilates class, but we can take it throughout our day. So that inhale through our nose, and then that exhale out of the mouth. As you inhale, you're going to feel the rib cage expand out to the side. As you exhale, you can try and control into the core. Now take your time to really do this and just feel the rib cage moving out and in as you breathe. This is something that I like to think about. We can take throughout the day. Like I said, you can use this breathing technique, Pilates breathing, throughout any other exercise that you do, but also as you work day to day. It's something we can do to really tune into the core. So our core centering all comes back from our breathing. And then we start to move, and we'll use our breathing to do this. So inhale through the nose, and then we're going to start to roll down towards the feet, warming that spine, keeping that spine young. Think of the spine a little bit like a chain on a bike. The more we move, the more oil we need. And the same with movement. Movement encourages that fluidity and allows the spine to keep young, using the muscles around the spine. As you roll down, it doesn't matter about how low your hands go towards the ground. It's really about that movement. As you bring yourself back up, stack the vertebrae back on top of each other, roll the shoulders and keep that neck nice and long. Again, inhale at the top. This time reaching the arms up above the head, just allowing the heart rate to go up a little bit higher by lifting those arms up. And then we peel back down towards the ground again, just using that exhale, draw the rib cage in, roll down towards the ground, keeping the knees soft. Hang the arms heavy, and then finally tuck the chin towards the chest and peel all the way back up to your standing position. From there, let's do that again. Fluidity as we roll down towards the mat. Soften the knees and peel ourselves all the way back up. One vertebrae at a time, all the way back up to your standing position. At the top, then we're going to start to get our heart rate up a little bit more. Think our feet hip distance apart. We're going to sink into our heels to squat down, sink down, and as we stand up, we're going to exhale. So we inhale to lower down, and then we exhale to stand. It's a little squeeze at the top, so squeeze just there. Inhale, lower, squeeze. Inhale, lower, squeeze. inhale, lower, squeeze, inhale, lower, squeeze. Keep going. Squeeze. We'll do a few more. And then we're going to stay. And we're just going to tuck our tail. Oh, no, lift that right heel. Then lower it down. So movement into the feet. So lift, heels up and lower. Heels up and lower. Up and lower. Just encouraging a little bit of extension into the toes. And then we switch. We switch. We switch. We switch. Do 4, 3, 2. Oh, no. That's enough. And then from there, we're going to start to push down a little bit deeper, push down about 10 centimeters up and down, and really feel that squeeze into the glute. Squeeze, squeeze, keep going. Okay, and then we're going to take one heel off. That right heel comes off, and we'll come all the way back up to standing. And you're going to feel that into your left glute as you stand. So sink, exhale to stand, exhale to stand. Inhale, lower, exhale to stand. Inhale, lower, exhale to stand. Inhale, lower, exhale to stand. Do 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Then we stay back down, stay down, and we add that little pulse at the bottom. Push down and up. Push down and up. Really small. That glute should fire up now. Keep going. And we'll try and do a few more. Keep going. All right, well done. And then we're going to switch, 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 switch. In between the movement, just allow a little pause. All right, and then we'll do the same on the other side. 10 in total. Keep going, pushing into that heel. And do 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stay back down and that little pulse at the bottom. 10 of these. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Bring it all the way back up. Lifting and lowering the heels. Lift and lower. Now time to get down onto the mat. Roll down onto your hands and knees into a 4-point kneeling, making sure your knees are underneath your hips, hands underneath your shoulders. Here I am, just making sure you can see my legs. Keep the neck nice and long. Make sure that you're not looking down towards your knees or up towards the sky. So that neck needs to be nice and long as well. And then we lift that back leg up and lower. So straight up and straight down. Inhale to lift, exhale to lower. Inhale to lift, exhale to lower. We'll do 10 in total. Try to really control on the way down. Try and keep the rest of the body as still as possible. So your ribs are tucked down towards the hips. And then we bring the heel in, push the toe away. Inhale to bring it in, exhale to lower, push away. Control that core. Use that core as you kick that leg away. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Do 4, 3. Oh no, I have too many. Okay. And then lock that leg into 90-degree angle. Ready? And then you're going to kick the ceiling. You feel that squeeze. Lower down. Don't drop down. Lower down with control. Exhale, lower. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Keep going. Nearly there. So that squeeze at the end. Keep those elbows soft. Couple more. And then we're going to switch legs. In between, we'll have a little stretch. Push the spine towards the sky. Tilt that pelvis forward. Lift and push down. Lift that head up and creating that little arch extension into the spine. Step the other leg straight out behind. Lift and lower. Up and down. Lift and lower. Again, that movement just from the hip. Make sure the rest of the body's not moving. Try not to dip the ribs down. That was me giving an example not to do. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Keep going. And then you're going to keep that leg up and bring the heel in. Push the toe away. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Hamstring curl as you extend. Really try and squeeze in the glute and use that core stabilizing. Okay, a couple more. And then we lower that knee and then we kick the ceiling. And you feel more into the squeeze into your glute there. Squeeze and lower, squeeze and lower, squeeze. Couple more. Well done. And your glute should fire up. So repeat this a few times if you really want to add more to the exercise. You could add weights behind the back of the leg for the curl in. You could use ankle weights. Then we're going to push back to a downward dog and really start to paddle our heels to start with, just encouraging that lower leg to stretch. And then when we feel stretched enough, so dynamically stretching, we're going to static stretch, so push the heels down. Bring those hips as high as we can, sink back to the ground, and we'll bring our legs out in front of us. And we'll start to think of stretching into the back of the legs and into our spine, so reaching up and then over. Imagine you've got a beach ball to reach those hands up and over and hold in between. And we try and repeat this a few times until we feel super stretched. Reach up and over. Inhale, reach up and over to exhale. Inhale, bring it back up. Okay. And then we widen the legs into a straddle. If you find it too tight in the back of your legs, you can sit yourself onto a block for this one. But we'll take our hands together into prayer and press them, then twisting round to the side, following the elbows. So the elbows go first, leading the way, really twisting, keeping yourself as tall as you can. So try not to lean forwards. So as we twist round, you're going to really feel that twist into the spine. Again, really important part of our Pilates movement is keeping that spine nice and young. Then walk the hands forward and you'll feel the stretch deepen. Inner thigh, back of the thighs. And we'll lower the elbows, lift up. So by just lifting and lowering the elbows, we're dynamically stretching. So we push down and lift up. Push down and then lift up. And then we hold. Doesn't matter how far away we hold. Do what feels good for you. Sink the elbows. And then from here, we're going to reach that right arm behind us, draw it towards the shoulder. Elbow leads the way, so really twisting round. We'll do the same. Our left hand comes towards our left shoulder, elbow leads the way, twisting round. And bring the hands down. And then to deepen the stretch, you can reach that arm out behind you, reach as far back behind you as you can. Feel that twist into the spine. Left hand does the same, reaching behind. Take a bit longer with that if you need to. And bring yourselves all the way back up from there. Knees out in front, just have a little twist, crossing over to each side. And then we bring ourselves over onto a side. Hand is in line with your hip. Lift that top arm up. Push the hips up off the ground. Lift and then push the rib cage and lift that arm over. So you're creating like a curve and a banana shape with the body. And then slowly sink that hip back down. You can stay there and do that a few times, or we can add a couple of layers. So taking that leg out, extend that leg and do the same to sink down. Remind yourself of where your hand should be in line with your bottom hip. And then lift and push both legs out for that full side posture. And then widen the knees to sink back down. We'll pivot round over onto the side. And we'll do the same movement again. Hand in line with the hip. Push that top arm up. Get ready to lift the hips up, banana shape in the body, reaching that arm over, curving, sink back down, adding some more weight to this movement, using the side of our body to just stretch and lower, and finally both feet back, out to the side, into our full side posture, and then widen the knees to slowly glide ourselves down onto the ground. Taking our hands back down, scooping the knees underneath us, and then pushing back from here. We're going to push back to a downward dog, hold into that stretch. And then we're going to walk our hands forwards and bring ourselves to plank. Glide yourself back down with your knees just to guide yourself into a full strong plank position. So making sure the hips are down. Don't push your bum up towards the sky. Keep your elbows nice and soft. If you want to add a little bit more, you can start to tap the knees down one at a time. If you want to add a little bit less, you can put the knees down onto the ground. So just tapping so the knees can go down if you want to. Just pause, pushing the knees back, still holding into that plank. And then we push our hands back towards our feet and peel ourselves all the way back up to standing one vertebrae at a time. And then to reach nice and tall to finish here. Relaxing, reaching those arms up above the head. Exhale, round down. Release. Inhale to reach. Exhale to release. Last one, grow taller, grow stronger. Just appreciate the energy you have created for your own body, the movement you have achieved in the class, repeat this a few times. Peel yourself all the way back up to your strong alignment and posture, feeling taller, stronger, and ready for your challenges ahead of you. Well done. Let me know if you've done this, and drop an emoji. Lots of love.